Do you ever wonder how to make it big in animation when the industry is always on the move? How do you keep your focus and drive when everything around you is shifting so fast? This week, we explore these important questions with Sean J. Cuttino, an influential figure in animation, illustration, and storytelling. His journey shines a light on what it really takes to stay ahead in a world where the creative landscape and technology never stand still. The creative force behind J-Cut Productions, Sean is known for his engaging YouTube content and impressive collaborations with big names like Google, the NFL, and Missy Elliott, showing us how creativity can really make an impact. But he's not just about making waves, he's helping shape how we experience art and design. In our conversation, we learn how he keeps up with the fast-paced world of animation and design and about his latest passion project, the storybook travelling adventures of Little J and the Wonder Key. This talk isn't just about his career highs, but also about the power of storytelling and how it draws us in. Sean opens up about the rollercoaster of building a creative career, filled with ups and downs and the learning curve that keeps his work exciting and relevant. From viral animations to the enchanting world of Little J, his story is all about resilience, joy, and the love of creating. For anyone who's got a thing for design, loves a good story, or is just curious about creative careers, this episode with Sean J. Cuttino is a treasure trove of insights and inspiration. It's all about finding your passion, embracing the inevitable challenges, and making those imaginative ideas a reality in a constantly evolving industry. Are you looking for a new camera to play with but don't really want to spend too much right now? Have you considered doing some good and finding a pre-loved piece of kit? You'll certainly save some money by picking up something used rather than buying brand new, and also help out a fellow creative who has traded in their old camera. Where can you make this happen? MPB is the largest global platform to buy, sell and trade used photo and video kit. You can shop for all the used camera kit you need, sell your unwanted gear to MPB and get an instant quote, free shipping and fast payment. We love it here at Creative Boom because its mission is to make gear more accessible and affordable while helping the entire creative industry to become more sustainable. If you'd like to find out more, just go to mpb.com to see what they have on offer. I'm really excited to be chatting with you, Sean, because I have been watching you on YouTube and laughing my head off. It's been really fun. Like that's something you've been doing for a while, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, for a while, I'll say, a few years, and it didn't start off like with, I don't know, like the movies and the fun stuff. I really was trying to focus on the art. And then it just somehow turned into, you know what, we'll do art through my projects and through fun stuff, and then we'll just do the movie reviews and movie reactions since that's what people are loving. So it just had a whole turn recently.
It's great. I mean, I think, but what's been consistent is the fact that you kind of always dig into that storytelling. You seem to sort of have a real passion for stories. And you kind of bring that alive when you're sort of going through and narrating and saying, oh, that's funny that happened. And
yeah,
you get emotional sometimes, like me, too emotional. And it's
I'm so emotional.
Yeah, same. Do you cry at adverts? I'm terrible.
I'll cry at anything. If I'm watching a commercial, I'm like, why am I crying? But and I've always been like, I'll cry baby is what they would say when I was younger. And I just felt like, no, you got to express your emotions, be yourself. If you feel something, feel it, Exactly. Don't hide from it. Just feel your emotions. Yeah,
exactly. And I suppose was that the reason why you sort of got into animation? I mean, animation has just been a massive part of your career. Is that sort of what drew you to the field?
Yeah. I mean, I've been drawing since I was a little kid, but I wanted to be a chef for a long time.
Oh, wow.
As I was like 5, if you were to ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was going to say a chef because I love to cook. I love food. But as I got older, it was like, cooking's fun, but my passion for drawing has always been there. I've been drawing since I was a kid. So, and when I was like, it's time to go to school, for college, I'm like, let me go for animation. I think I feel like animation is such a magical medium. That's such a powerful medium. And difficult medium. And I was like, I want to learn that.
Yeah. And it's done you proud. I mean, gosh, you went to, the University of the Arts where was it? In Pennsylvania? Oh, no, in Philadelphia. Sorry.
Yes. Which is in Pennsylvania. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good. My American geography is not too bad. Oh gosh.
No worries.
And then Delaware College of Art and Design,
Yes.
and you've really sort of stayed in your lane and gone for it, and now you've like got all these kind of different styles under your belt: stop motion, 3D, even puppetry. I mean, gosh, what a career!
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been great. I mean, going to school for art in America sometimes can be like, do you want to get money? Do you want to get paid? But my parents and my family encouraged it. Like a lot of families are like, we don't want you to go to school for art, But my family, they saw the talent, they saw the ability, and they encouraged me to continue. They encouraged me to go to school for art. And I'm glad they did, because that's what I think helped me push all the way through to the end, and, get my full degree and keep pushing in this field, because I love art and I love to be able to express it and do it. And having that encouragement really pushed me through.
That's fantastic. It's a very similar story over here in the UK as well. And, oh gosh, I bet your family are so proud, because you've ended up working with Mac, Tom Ford, Walmart. I mean, and Google,
It's been great.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, the Google project, that was because some of some projects were, through agencies and through work. But then when I went from, doing those regular office jobs, went into studios, and then I was like, I think it's time to do my own thing and to make my own path instead of working in the company. There's nothing wrong with working in companies, but I just felt like I could do it myself.
Yes. Yes.
And that Google project was through just me, through my growth, through my promotions, through my experience. And I had to draw 100 employees, which was a lot. And I did it in 2-3 months. So that was really a quick turnaround time.
Wow.
But it was such a wow, that's a lot of work, and it looks really fun and cool, and they really love that.
That's great. I'm looking at all the sketches now. It looks great fun. Like you really had to sort of draw on a lot of inspiration. Did you
Yes.
did you get a chance to sort of interview these different characters so you could have a little bit of context with each person?
Not as much. Well, kind of, not directly, but what I did was I was like, okay, because they were like, okay, we just need profile images. And I'm like, that's fun, but I'm like, we need something more fun. I'm like, how about we give them some questions on what their favorite, sport is, or food is, or, activity, whatever it is. Let's have them give me 3, and then I'll pick out of the 3 what I want to do. So then I still have a little bit of freedom there. And I thought that was more fun because, if you say hiking, that's something cool as opposed to just a flat picture of you, So that was a cool way of kind of getting their opinion, and it also allowed me to have a little bit of a free choice, just in case they pick something and I'm like, I don't know if I want to draw that. Then I can have multiple options to choose from.
That's a really amazing brand to work with as well when you've gone freelance after, because the Mac and the Tom Ford and the Walmart, that was when you were sort of working elsewhere, right?
Exactly. Those were through the agencies and companies and stuff. Which was great. I mean, it was great for my portfolio, but it wasn't technically under J-Cut Productions, under my LLC, whereas Google and some of these other bigger projects were. And I think that's where it was wow, to get something like that as my own entity or my own brand, as opposed to through a company or something like that, it was okay, this is the right direction.
Oh, gotcha. And then the NFL as well.
Oh my goodness. Yes. When I got the NFL email, I'm like, I know that's not NFL. It can't be. It's not. How? And yeah, it was at that time they were celebrating Black History Month and Black culture, and they needed artists that can show that. And I'm like, but I am not into sports at all. So I told them that. I said, I could do it, but I'm not into sports, not even a little bit. And they were like, no, it's okay.
Tell them that. You take the job. You take the job.
I know. But, I felt I had to tell them, only because I also understood how it could be a positive, and they knew it too, because they were like, oh, you know what? But that's actually a good thing because then you can get it from the outside looking at, like, what is your perspective of football from the outside? So it actually was like a benefit. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Oh gosh, don't lose the opportunity. But I'm like, I got to be honest.
That's so cute. You're very like me. I would have been the same. I have had to have got that off my conscience. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to let them know.
Do you know what though? It's nice to do that, to be honest up front, because that just shows the client that you're going to be somebody they can trust and work with easily.
Exactly.
You know, it almost makes you more enticing, doesn't it? Because you're almost saying, don't pick me because I don't do.
And then like, we want to pick you more.
Exactly. But okay, that's impressive. I'm really impressed with that.
Thank you.
But my goodness, Macy Gray, Missy Elliott, but most impressive of all, Slick Rick.
I know.
Once upon a time, not long ago, when people wore pajamas and didn't live life slow.
Old school. I love it.
I love it. So funny. I'm old school.
I love it because it's funny because that was one of the first like people kind of that connected, and I was like, what? But yet like some of my friends know, and then some of my friends don't. So when I say Slick Rick, they're like, okay. But when I say Mr. Elliott, they're like, wow. Yet the Slick Rick projects are bigger and has a longer lasting thing going on.
Yeah,
I just think it's so
I'm
funny.
impressed.
Oh,
I'm impressed.
That was another, and that one's kind of like, still things are still kind of happening. But you know, when they're trying to get some shows, some things going, but you know how it takes time, and so who knows what might wrap back around. But they're a great group of people, like his team and everything, and it was just like, wow, like Slick Rick. And my dad introduced me to Slick Rick, so not personally, but like through the music when I was younger. So it was like, and I had to call my dad. I was like, Dad, you know, like, wow,
oh wow,
look at this full circle, like look at that, you know. And I'm like, I can't even believe that I have a connection in some way to Slick Rick. It's crazy.
Yeah, I grew up in that era in my teenage years when hip hop was sort of huge across both sides of the pond. And yeah, Slick Rick was one of my favorites.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I was like, eyes popped out of my head when I read that. I was like, I'm going to ask him about that. That's going to be interesting. So it's been great for you. I mean, how long have you been freelancing now?
I think, well, for all my life, I believe artists should and probably will always freelance even when they don't know they're doing it. Because even when you have a full company or project or you're under a brand or whatever, someone's going to ask how much for this, you know? So I've always been doing freelance, but freelance like full time as my like main thing. I'd say about 6 years, 6, 7 years. And, freelance is 1,000% a roller coaster. There are those times we get those big projects like Google and Slick Rick, and then those other times where it's like, where are the people? Where is the project?
Where have they gone? Where's the money?
Where have they gone? I have bills. Because you know what? Every month, the bills, they don't really care about what you have going
They do not. They do not.
Every
some months
month, they want the same amount.
Exactly. And we can get greedy, can't we? And we can get a little bit zealous.
Seriously.
I'll buy that new microphone and I'll get those new trainers.
Because you feel like, okay, I need this, I need that. You know, it's a whole situation. But I wouldn't trade it because I really love the freedom, even though there's freedom in one way of freelancing and there's no freedom in another way, right? But I love the freedom of being able to create my own thing and decide what I want. You know, when you work in a company, you don't decide what you want to do. If they tell you this is what you're doing, that's the project. But I can decide if I want to take up a project or not, or if I have the time to take up a project, or if, maybe financially, if I want to go a different route, if I want to raise the bill or whatever. I like that freedom to be able to make my own decision in what I'm doing with my talents.
Exactly. And you've got many talents because you also run a shop and sell lots of merch through there, and you do 3D modeling as well.
Yes.
So you bring it, so you're kind of always looking at where opportunities lie. And that is
Jack of all trades, I think, is very much have fallen into that for sure.
Yeah. For sure. Do you think we're entering the age of the generalist, given that AI is threatening all of our jobs?
Yes.
Ooh.
No. It's funny because when I notice that, because I see a lot of movies and I love futuristic scientific type movies. I love it. So I've seen a lot of AI movies and how it would take over the world and take your jobs. I just thought art was going to be like the last one. We didn't think art was going to be the first one. But at the same time, I have like mixed feelings. One side is like technology's changing, you have to adapt, right? Because that's just nature, right? Like we don't ride horses, we drive cars. So we have to, someone who took care of horses lost their job when cars became a thing, right? But then a lot of jobs were created when cars came around. So I kind of have to look at it that way. But at the same time, not lose the fact that I'm an artist, So just because AI is here, it doesn't stop artists from being artists. Now, maybe the money might flow differently, but I think if you can still see the passion in what you do. And actually, I think that's what made me start doing tuffing rugs, because I realized like when I can make my own rug or make something with my hands, because everything I do is digital. If I can make something with my hands, then I'm automatically pulling away from the AI because AI doesn't have actual hands. So automatically I have something that a robot, and even when they just start having hands, it's not a human hand, right? So it's like, let me figure out a way to bring human into my work. And I realized most clients actually don't want AI art. They don't want AI stuff. They really want a human's touch because, one, when it's time to tweak or change something, right now AI is not that nuanced where it's like, okay, I like that color, but just make it a little bit more red. AI doesn't know how to make it just a teeny bit more red, whereas I can make a notch and change things a little bit. So I think that's where I realized bringing the human element in.
Wait until it gets better and wait until they put in AI into something like a Boston Dynamics, advanced robot. And then we're all screwed.
Then we're done. Then it's over. There's nothing we can do.
Then the government has to pay us a flat fee and we have to just all do, like we'll all become like factory workers or something. We'll all go and do sort of production, a certain amount of time. And then and the world will change and we'll turn into this kind of utopia, which
it's going that direction.
Sounds terrifying. I hope we still have freedom. I hope we can still have downtime.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I see. I don't know if you saw Wall-E, but I feel like that's where we're heading.
Yes,
we are heading to Wall-E.
Although in that spaceship, I don't know about you, but instead of floating around on those like little kind of, what are they, like floating kind of, chairs. What do they call them? Yeah, chairs. Like you'd find a lot in Florida communities.
Oh my, seriously.
Instead of going on those, I'll be on the treadmill every day. I'll be up in the spaceship waiting to go back to Earth. I'm not going to get overweight. No way. I'm going to stay fit. I am.
Because they all were just roly-polies.
Exactly. I love that film. It's such a beautiful film.
It's so good. It's so good.
Who knew animation could make you cry,
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, and in Pixar, they have figured out a way to go right to your heartstrings and pull all your tears out.
Yeah, it's music. Like the film Up. It kills me every time.
Oh, yes.
Heartbreaking.
And then right from the beginning.
Yes.
Gracious.
I know. It's so awful.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunately one of those things in life. We're not here forever, and sad things happen. And I like how the kind of these sort of animations help children sort of prepare for that. In a kind of very subtle but clever way.
Yeah, I agree. 1,000%. Because you need not just for children, but for everyone to be able to see an answer. Because sometimes we struggle through life, we struggle through overcoming certain understandings, and then a movie or a show or something can kind of break that concept and give you an answer on how you can push through or overcome something. Because sometimes, some of us have it from our family and friends, but not everyone has that. So it has to come from somewhere else, and a movie and an animation can also take that burden off of us and give us a little bit of an answer.
Yeah, I love these animations, these films. That's one of the great things about technology, how they can just bring these features to life, the eyes and the kind of lips. It's just so lifelike now. It's incredible.
It's amazing. And I do, as much as I love 3D animation. I think the highest form of art, in my opinion, is stop motion. I think that style of art, especially the way it's gotten so smooth that it looks like 3D. Like Coraline is one of my favorite movies. Like that to me is because then you're bringing in so many departments. Talking about hands and humans, so many departments because they're making the clothing, they're making the sets, they're making the lighting, and then this smooth, buttery smooth process of animation. I think it's just the most beautiful form of art, in my opinion, when it comes to visual, expression. I think it's amazing.
We used to have this cartoon when I was little, and it was the 70s, a tad older than you, and it was called The Flumps. And that was the Flumps, yeah. It was stop motion. It was just these little balls of wool that were different characters. Grandad Flump and Baby Flump. I can't remember their names. And I just loved it. It was all stop motion. And we had a lot of that when we were kids. And I think that's sort of come back a lot more recently, hasn't it?
Oh, yes, it has. It's one of those, like, it just takes so long. I mean, animation takes long in general, but stop motion is one of those. It takes so long that they're like, the movies don't come out as sporadic as I would like, as much as I would like, because they take so long. And I know they just did like Chicken Run 2. They did a second Chicken Run, so there was like,
yeah.
But who knows how long they were working on that?
I know. Gosh, I know. There's so much at play, and. Talking about AI again, my hope is that instead of it taking away jobs, it actually just makes existing jobs a hell of a lot faster and a hell of a lot easier. So, you might say you're doing a big sort of animation picture and you need to sort of have all these different varying backgrounds. And before it would take, 2 weeks. Now it takes 2 days because of AI.
That's what I think. I think, of course, the first fear is, oh my gosh, it's going to take our jobs. And I do believe in some ways, yes, it will, because everything's a job, and the moment you make something faster, it takes someone else's job. But I also think it will, one, create jobs, and I don't think it'll completely erase the artists, because as there are artists who want to art, there are people who want to watch art and look at art from a human. And I think too, like when it comes to if we use it like a tool, like if you think about the strike they had for SAG and for, the actors and everything, of course there were other parts of that, but one part of that was about AI. So, these laws will help too, where it's like, no, you can't just completely erase us with an AI because we're not going to allow that, So certain things like that even help with, with the future of how we can continue to be an artist.
Of course. I mean, look at how the world's responded to various things recently. Like Princess Catherine over here and those photographs. People want they want authenticity, and they want to know that what they're looking at is actually
real.
Real, exactly. So, like, if I've said it before on another episode, I think if you have a holiday brochure, in your case, vacation brochure of the Maldives or wherever, or the Caribbean, you want to know that beach that you're looking at is the real deal before you sort of sign the contract and pay all that money.
And then you go over there and you're like, this isn't what I mean.
Why is this a pebble beach?
What is happening here?
Exactly.
But you're right. We want something real. And it's funny because when the AI, like last year, was like really introduced to us. I mean, AI has been here for a long time, but
yes,
introduced to the world in that way. I remember someone reached out for me to help them do AI, like an AI children's book. And I'm like, okay, let's see. But I'm kind of glad because I was able to like, all right, what's this all about? Instead of looking at it from the outside, I was like, let me get in and see what programs are here, what's going on, how does it work, how can I use it, how can I, and see what's what, instead of from the outside looking in and being like, it's taking my job. And it's like, okay, well, how can I use it where I can still have a job and
I think that's
be able
the right
to do
way.
my thing? That's it. Instead of being afraid, you have to use it as you can.
Embrace it, learn about it, see what the enemy is.
Exactly.
And actually what's happening, like with all technology before, all kind of cultural whether it's an advancement or not, I don't know, we'll see. But, you are right. Jobs do change and some go, but then there's all these other jobs that come about. I mean, look at the horses. You know, at one point there were people who were employed, I presume, to shovel up all the manure that was everywhere. So actually,
Right.
it's a good thing we don't have so many horses anymore. But then we had cars, lots of people got killed. Then they thought, let's have some seat belts.
Exactly.
You know, let's make things safer.
And that's the thing. It's like it automatically, like, think about the internet. Like, I'm sure before the internet, people felt like, what is this thing that's coming that is about to take a lot of jobs or change a lot of things? And the internet did take a lot of jobs, but look how many jobs were created because of the internet. Like,
exactly.
So, I mean, like, we can't even count because now most of us apply for jobs through the internet, right? So it's like, it's created so many more jobs as opposed to the other way around. So that's how I have to look at AI, where right now we have to see it as like, times are changing, technology is advancing. You know, we see these movies and we're always like, wow, that's so amazing. Well, you know, these futuristic movies, but it's like, well, I had to have AI to get to that point, right? If we really want to get to that look or that world, I guess, then this is one of the steps that it's going to have to take.
Exactly. I mean, the internet, my goodness, it's allowed people like yourself to like run these amazing businesses and try out new things and test things and create a community and an audience and all, for the most part, for free.
Yeah. Yes, that part. We artists, we don't have any money. No money over here. The free, the better. Actually, that's how Blender for me, when it comes to 3D, became a thing. Because I was like, when I found out Blender, which even a lot of companies are using now, is a free program, I was like, let me learn. I mean, I already knew a little bit of 3D, but I didn't get a chance to really get to the level that I'm at now. But when I noticed Blender was free, I was like, well, you know what? Only thing I have to pay for is my time. So let's just use that.
Exactly. Sure. I definitely think people like you are going to more than survive the next 10, 20 years because you're kind of, you're like me in that you kind of just pivot. That pivot doesn't work. Maybe I need to learn this. Maybe I need to try that out. And you just kind of, change things up and just keep going. It's the way to be. And
the thing is, you don't have to pivot if you are doing this as a hobby. If you just love, granted, this is my hobby, but it's just so I'm privileged enough where my hobby is my career. But if art is just your passion, it's just your hobby, you don't need to pivot. Just go do your ceramics, do what you want to do because it's just making you happy. But if it's a career path or it's a money maker in some way, you got to make some changes to keep up. Otherwise, you're going to get swept behind and then you won't be able to pay your bills. So you have to pivot if you want to pay the bills.
Exactly. You've got to move with the times. It's it can be exhausting. Have you suffered burnout at any time in your career? Or is that just part of the package for all of us, really, sometimes?
Yes and no. Not so much now as maybe when I was in college and high school. And I think because I figured out some methods. So I look at burnout and writer's block. I mean, I guess artist block, but writer's block as similar things, but maybe from different perspectives. And for me, burnout is I'm overwhelmed. It's so much going on. I'm about to die, right? You just pass out. Maybe not literally pass out, but you pass out. And then writer's block is I don't have enough information to create, which is basically a burnout. But I found that, number one, if I need to take a break, take a break. Don't feel like I have to do this. I know. And the break doesn't always mean forever. It could be a 1 day break. It could be a few hour break. It could be a 1 week break. Take a break because sometimes that's what the burnout problem is I have to do. And in reality, you probably have more time than you think. And it's like, just take a break. And then when it comes to the writer's block, to me, the answer to writer's block or creative block or artist block is inspiration. Like you have to look at other art, and that doesn't mean steal their idea, but just look at other amazing artists and creators and then see how that applies to your life and your mind. And then boom, you'll have some idea like, oh, that was cool, but maybe I can do it in this way, or I can tweak it in this direction. So it's like, that to me is the answer to the writer's block. I don't have an idea why can't it come out? Look at other things, be inspired by other creative avenues and see how that can apply to you.
Exactly. It's understanding that rest and recuperation is part
Yes,
of the creative
you have to.
process.
You have
Yeah,
to.
it's really important because otherwise you just keep going, then
And then
eventually you're gonna.
it's gonna be, yeah. And the thing
Yeah.
is, it's like your brain needs, I was joking with a friend who also does creative work, and we're not really, we're not out and about, or like a construction worker who's always moving their body and doing a bunch of things. And it's like people think, oh, you're not working, but it's like, do you know how much brain power it takes to create things? Like, it's a lot of brain power. People are like, why are you taking a nap? Because I need to get my energy back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I will take a nap at any moment. Okay, a nap is really important because, you're using your brain, you're getting all these ideas, and especially if you're working with multiple brands or companies and you have to split your creative styles in some way so that it looks one way for this brand and one way for another. And that's a lot. That's a lot. And to me, it's like, okay, take a break. Otherwise, you will have that burnout from creativity and just too many ideas. There's that side, and finding a way to balance that all out.
Exactly. So now I'm going to ask you about Little J and the Wonder Key, which sounds magical. You've actually, obviously, you do a lot of different things. We've established that, but this is epic. This is a children's book that you have created, written, done all the artwork for, and you're about to launch on Kickstarter. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. I've made books before. I made I made a coloring book, and then I did this coffee table book that failed. And but
we won't talk about that.
Yeah, we won't bring that one up. And
it's not a failure, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because that was the first one, and the Kickstarter didn't go through. And most people are like, oh well, it failed, move on. And to me, I really, even though I said, it's like technically a failure, I really believe that everything is a learning point. And through that, I was like, okay, what worked? Because I must have did something that worked, but also must have did a lot that didn't work. Okay, what was it? I literally listed out, okay, these things did work, but this didn't work. And then I did the coloring book because of that. And the coloring book was successful. So it was like, okay, great. I see what worked and what didn't. Now I'm like, okay, how can I really take it to the next level? And I try not to call myself this anymore, but I used to call myself a lazy artist. And what that means is not that I'm lazy, but in a sense of like, I want to find a simpler way. Like if I'm going to draw bricks on a wall, I'm not drawing every single brick. We're going to draw a few bricks and we're going to move them around, right? Find a simpler way to do the same thing. I
don't think that's lazy. I think that's sensible.
Efficient. Thank you. Thank you. I'll accept that. But I found that with that mindset, sometimes I would, like the coloring book was almost an easy way out because I already did all the artwork from years. I just took all the colors off and just kept it black and white. So it was like a simple way to make a book. Whereas this, it's like, no, I'm creating everything from scratch with the Little J and the Wonder Key.
This is your first children's book, isn't it?
Yes, this is my first official children's book, first story, first, creating the character from the ground up. And, I loved fairy tales. When I was a kid, my grandma would read Hansel and Gretel and the Grimm Tales and Little Red Riding Hood and just all those fairy tales. And I loved that. That's probably why I loved Into the Woods so much, because I love that combination of all these characters coming together that I love and read and saw growing up. So I was like, okay, I want to do something with that. And at first, the idea was actually to have Little J be the Little Red Riding Hood. So instead of, the little girl, it's a little black boy, right? And that was fun idea, but I was like, that's not enough. And what happened was I had this time travel video that I put on social media where I was talking about the loop. Like, I love a time travel loop. I don't like when it's an alternate universe or it breaks into different paths. I like when it's, I love Harry Potter. So the third movie, how it had that lovely, lovely loop. That is my favorite thing in time travel. And it's because I love the fact that these people go into the past to kind of help the story continue as we already know it. And I was like, how can I bring that into this story? And that's kind of what's happening with the Little J and the Wonder Key. It's not a time travel movie, or a book, but it is about
it's going to be a movie as well.
Oh, it will be. Oh, yes. It will be on Netflix.
100%.
That is happening. It's basically a little boy who every night he goes on adventures into fairy tale land, different stories. This particular one is going to be the Little Red Riding Hood. And he goes into that world to help the protagonist or the main character of that world fulfill their destiny. So we already know, many of us know that story already. But it's like, okay, how did little Jay help? But he's on a like secret mission because he's given this wonder key from the highest of the fairy godmothers. And they can't know he's there. So he has to kind of secretly help. Not the main, other characters can know, but the main character cannot know that he's helping them. So he's almost like a secret fairy godmother, you know, and going around and helping the story happen. So the things that we know to have taken place in the original story still happens, but he's just in the background fulfilling that.
That's great. And he's got a little teddy rabbit to help him called Professor Chester.
So it's him and Professor Chester.
Why is he called Professor Chester?
I don't know. It just felt like a good name for me when I was writing. Yeah. And I was like, let's keep it. And I put Professor because in the real world, he's just this ragdoll that's kind of being flopped around and thrown around. And even Jay just kind of doesn't care, but just really loose goose with it and plays really just ragdoll. But when he comes into the fairy tale world, the Professor Chester transforms into whichever animal is best fitting for that world. So in this case, for the Little Red Riding Hood, he turns into a fox. But I'm already seeing the future of different books. I keep saying movie by accident, but different books. Like I really want to do Three Little Pigs, and I really also want to do Alice in Wonderland. That is one that I really, really want to do.
Oh, that would be magical.
So maybe in Alice in Wonderland, maybe he stays a rabbit, and that could be a part of the joke. Or if I do Wizard of Oz, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, maybe he's a dog. Or so just different ways where he transforms into that animal. And then obviously he's talking and walking around. When he goes into those fairy tale worlds.
It's so clever. You've got that amazing hook, that kind of thread that's going to just work across anything you set your mind to.
Yes,
and so I can see it being like either a series of, little kind of animations or like, big movies with, oh my goodness. I mean, who would you get to do the voice of little Jay?
Oh my goodness. I don't even know. It's funny because it's funny because my plan is also to do an audiobook so that, there's an option. Because the purpose even of having this book, besides just the story itself, I really miss or don't see, or at least from my perspective, is children being read to before going to bed. Like what happened to that, right? And I'm like, okay, can we bring that back? Or at least with this, I want this to be one of those books that you read to your child before they go to bed. But not everyone has that person either. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to do an audiobook that's very, has all the characters' voices and things like that. So I'm already kind of in the process of figuring out, how to go through that process. But I was talking to my friend and I'm like, okay, maybe I should do Little Jay's voice. So I practiced it and I was like, it's not too bad. So, hey, I don't mind being Little Jay for if it goes to Netflix or something like that.
Oh yeah, Netflix.
I don't mind at all.
This podcast is brought to you by MPB, the largest global platform to buy, sell and trade used photo and video kit. Each week, we'll be chatting with photographer and MPB ambassador Ian to take a closer look at different bits of kit available. What have you got for us this week, Ian?
So this week, we have a really tricky topic. It's sensor sizes and focal lengths demystified. So the first thing I want to say is don't worry if you don't understand exactly what I'm going to say. The whole point is that it just gets you thinking about this if you do make a new purchase. So we'll go into it. So we all recognize roughly what 24 mil, 35 mil, and 85 mil means when we talk about lenses. However, with the growing popularity of different sensor sizes, it's important to understand what this means to your specific camera. So those numbers for focal length are always in relation to a full frame camera. And the way that we number these has remained pretty much unchanged since the film days. So, for example, Fujifilm, who primarily make a crop sensor camera, if they make a lens for the popular X range at 35mm, it's actually closer to a 50mm field of view because their sensors are smaller, 1.5 times smaller to be exact, than a full-frame camera like a Canon 5D, for example. Equally, Olympus might brand one of their 25mm lenses as 25mm, but when you use it, it will appear closer to a 50mm, as the sensor is twice as small of a full-frame camera. So, for example, if you have a larger than full-frame camera like a medium format Hasselblad, a 50mm for them will be closer to a 35mm as the sensor is larger. So it's almost like you multiply when the sensor is smaller and you divide when the sensor is larger. So when buying into a new system and choosing your lens, just check what the conversion is so you're not disappointed when your wide-angle lens isn't actually as wide as you may have expected.
That is so helpful, and it's definitely going to stop many of us making an expensive mistake. Thank you so much, Ian. If you want to find out more, go to our show notes where there's a bit more information available. And you can also go to mpb.com to start browsing available video and photo kit today.
I mean, that's my goal. I'm like, Netflix, somebody makes it. My idea is like, it's a show, maybe like a kid's show or like where every episode is a different fairy tale. Like, maybe this one is the Little Red Riding Hood, but the next episode is Hansel and Gretel, or something like that. I can see it so clearly. And that's why I'm making sure the visuals of this book is very, very vivid. Even I haven't done this level of work really. I mean, I've done it in many ways, but not at this scale, at this amount. And it's starting to come together really, really nicely. And I'm already very proud and excited. Yeah. And to show people this book.
And it's diverse as well. I mean, you growing up did not have that, I presume.
No. And that's actually a friend of mine was just saying that, like, we don't, I think that's why Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse is so special, because I see this Black powerful man, well, he's a boy, but actually have these like powers and is saving the world and the planet or whatever the case may be. We don't get to see that often, so yeah, I think that's why it's doing so well, because we're like, wow, we get to see. So I'm like, okay, well, we also don't really see fairy tales with little black boys either. So nice. I'm like, okay, I could do it. Let me take it. Let me take it on. And I want the cast and the characters to be diverse and different cultures inside of the story. I mean, this one has a little bit, but just over time with every book, different characters showing up. So I'm very excited to see how this takes off and how this can really, really grow and become something bigger than even I'm expecting it to be.
Exactly. And I guess also it's nice to sort of move away from the whole kind of, from my point of view, being a woman, being rescued by a guy. Oh, I've fallen over a log. Oh, I'm helpless.
I need help. Damsel in distress. It's like, come on.
I'm growing my hair long to throw it down to like a complete stranger, who I do not know, I've never met, and they're going to come up into my tower. I mean, did anybody like do any checks on this guy? Has he got a social security number?
Can we trust him? Because maybe I don't want to throw my hair down.
Exactly. And like,
he can just walk by this one.
Exactly. And like, I'm asleep, and why is this guy kissing me? Okay.
Yeah, what's happening?
Fair enough. He's like fought through a kind of horrible forest, but that's not my issue. I'm trying to take a nap. Go away.
Right.
I mean, goodness, it's no wonder that so many of us girls grew up thinking, we were going to have a handsome prince whisk us off our feet.
And that's the thing. A lot of these, we've conditioned our mind to a certain tale, a certain story. And I'm glad we're at a time where we're kind of breaking that. It's like, okay, yes, but what is another perspective, or what's another way of seeing this story? Or is there another story, that needs to be told? So that's where I feel like this is where we're at. Like, we're like, okay, women can do it. Like, they can do it. We've seen it in real life. We've seen women strong and powerful and doing it and overcoming it. So then why aren't we showing that? What's happening here?
Yeah. And why does it always have to be like a love story? You know, can't she just have her own adventure? You know, and
every time there's a love story, I'm like, okay, here we go.
maybe that's one of your little J, you know, stories. You could go into Cinderella and just go up to her and have a chat with her and say, look, you know, you don't have to go out with this guy. You've only met him once.
You don't have to do it.
You've only met him once. You know, you're going to
only met him one time.
You've lost your shoe. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life with a guy just because the shoe fits? I mean, come on.
Right. Are we sure?
I mean,
that's what you want?
Not all of us have got small feet. Mine are massive. I could have been an ugly sister. and that's problematic as well.
Just very much. What does that even mean?
Oh, well, they're old stories, aren't they? So
yeah, they're very old.
We're wise, and we know that it's about context. They come from a different time. It's kind of we can intellectually say that was from that era, and actually
that era.
When we compare it to now, we can see how far we've come along, can't we? And that's nice.
Very much.
Yes. Progress.
Very much.
Progress.
Well,
I'm really excited to hear about where it goes. And you're going to be launching it on Kickstarter, first of all.
Yeah, hopefully soon. My hope is mid-May, end of April. May, end of June is my goal. And I'm very excited. It's coming along. I'm in a sample mode now, so I'm talking to the manufacturer, trying to get the samples, and so I can take B-roll and footage of it. And even the response to this book is very different from any product or project or anything I've ever done that's like a personal project. Just from the friends and family even are like their response is different from it, and even just like my followers and things. So it feels like, okay, this is something else. Like people really see something big in this project, and I'm like, okay, I have to deliver.
So you basically you've got a really good gut feeling about it.
Yes, because it was also, you know what it was? It's anything that has a combination of solutions, or like anything that fulfills a combination of problems through a solution tells me it's on the right track. And because there was so many things that had to happen for this book to even be an idea, and one of those hoops was fan art, because I love fan art. I draw a lot of fan art because I love renditions. That's probably why I like fairy tales, because they've been changed so many times. There's so many renditions of like Cinderella and things like that. So I love a rendition. So a fan art is fun to take SpongeBob and do my own version of it, or to take Mickey Mouse. But as much as I love it, I put myself in a box. It was like, one, I don't own Mickey Mouse. So even though I do a rendition, it's only but so far I can really go before I get sued. And and also it's like, where's my story? Where's my character? I had to get over that hump of, you know what? Let me also start creating my own IP, right? My own thing. And that's where Little J. And I always had a J cut character floating around, but I never really put a real name to it or a real identity to it. And now Little J is it.
That's fantastic, because you do, like you say, you clearly love characters from all the movies and the animations and the cartoons. I'm just looking at your YouTube channel. It's brilliant, like looking at the 10 top characters. I mean, what is your favorite character, other than obviously Little J, who's very important? But what characters do you really sort of think,
and actually, I had a video on the top 10 most unfazed characters. And I love a character that is unfazed. So like that is very positive and the world doesn't affect them. Like even though the world is on top of them, it just falls off of them like butter. Like I love characters like that. And I love that like understanding of like, it can always get better. It can always be better. I mean, that's very much how I am. Like, if I have a troubled day, I know the next day is a little bit better. Just maybe you need some rest. So sometimes you got to eat something. Sometimes you're just hungry. That's a lot of times the case, and I like any character that has that. So like, like Olaf off of Frozen is very much like nothing affects him. The world doesn't affect him.
He's so positive.
He's very positive. He can overcome it. And even when things are a little bit down, he sees a light at the end of the tunnel, or, SpongeBob is not a great example because he gets very emotional, but he also is a very positive person, although he can get very angry too. But I really like that he is a positive person. It's like nothing can really hurt me, and I love characters like that for sure. I want to bring that even into Little J, like that positive person.
That's like you though as well. I get the impression you're a very kind of, happy, very caring, you have a lot of compassion and empathy.
Thank you.
And where's that?
I try to because
where's that come from? Where's that come from? Is that a sort of strong family that you come from?
I think it's a mix. Number one, strong family, but not just family. I think it's also just anytime you do feel upset, you have to bank that. So anytime someone hurts you, anytime someone makes you feel somewhat type of way, or some type of circumstance you feel unfortunate, you have to put it in a bank and you have to mark that, okay, this made me feel upset. And then what you do is when you see someone else experiencing that, you have to say, oh, that's what I felt. So then it stops you from judging them. It stops you from getting overly upset. It also allows you to say, well, what's happening in their life? For instance, road rage. People have road rage, right? Someone cuts them off and they get so angry, irately angry. And I'm like, okay, cutting someone off is very unfortunate, right? You shouldn't cut someone off. It's dangerous. But what if they had a wife in the passenger seat who's about to have a baby? What if they their parents just died, so they're just not really focused, so they just went into the next line. You never know someone's circumstance, so instead of just getting angry, why not, because the chance of them just cutting you off just to make you upset is like the lowest on the pole. But there's so many other circumstances in people's lives that make them maybe hurt you in the wrong way. Now, of course, there are intentional people who just hurt you for no reason, but
some people are just
cases dicks. But in most cases, people are going through life as you are. So it's like if you put yourselves in their shoes, it stops you from being upset at people. And then when it comes to circumstances, just life problems, there's always a better day. My grandma will always say it's always a better day. Like today may be a really, really tough day because I've had those days where it's like I lost my keys, my wallet fell down the drain, and just one of those days. But the next day is always like a lot calmer.
Yes, like, exactly.
Way calmer, like opposite. So it's like, just wait for that day instead of feeling like, oh, my whole life is destroyed. So actually, no, it just was a crazy day,
Yeah.
So that's what keeps me positive. And also, no one can hurt me. I just feel like I can do anything. And even when it doesn't go my way, it eventually, if you keep pushing, you'll fulfill your goals, you fulfill your dreams, and then you can do anything.
I love this. I love the phrase, the saying, you don't know what hell other people are going through. So, kill them with kindness. These really lovely, compassionate little things that make you go about your life in a kind of more calm and happy manner. And you don't let the kind of, negativity of the world sometimes get the best of you. I'm very much like that. I've heard you mention your grandmother a couple of times. She sounds important to you.
Oh, yeah. My grandma's still alive. And when I was younger, because I know a lot of people mention grandma, you think, oh, my gosh, she's dead.
But she's okay, people. She's okay.
Yeah, she's alive. She's alive. I mean, my childhood in my mind was kind of divided into three parts. So it was like my childhood with my mom, my childhood with my dad, who they weren't together, but they were cordial. They just weren't together. And my childhood with my grandma. So I had three kind of like broken up in a good way. I had a really good, but my childhood with my mom was more like, because my mom grew up my mom is a hairdresser. So I grew up in a hair salon. So I was around a lot of black women a lot of time, all the time. So after school, I would literally go to the hair salon and do my homework and sit under the dryers and spin in the chairs, which I wasn't supposed to do. So that was like a whole world during the week where it was like this hair world.
That's an education.
I learned a lot. Maybe that's where some of the compassion comes in, because when you hear a lot of black women complain about men, you start to realize you don't want to be those type of men. So there's that. And then on the weekends, every other weekend, I would go spend time with my dad, and I would go spend time with my grandma every other weekend, literally like for years. And my dad, it was like, we play video games with my brothers, and we would go outside and do camping. Like I have a really fantastic dad. And then with my grandma, she taught me like, one, how to cook and, how to think and how to ask questions. Like she never let me just do anything. Like you have to question it. Like why are we doing this? Why you have to think. And we would talk and talk. We would talk about anything, and we still do, about anything and everything, because she felt that if you can communicate, and my dad very much too had that understanding of like, communicate. If you can talk, that'll stop you from being angry too, control your anger. If you can communicate and hear people's ideas and hear their understanding, and just because they have a different perspective doesn't automatically make them right or wrong. You just have to understand their perspective, and then you'll be able to, if you love, right? If you know and understand their mind, you may be able to love them in a different way instead of just judging them because they think differently from you. So it's like, that's where I learned a lot from my parents, and especially my grandma.
It's wisdom that, you don't have expectations of other people, and you don't judge them. You just try and find that compassion. And then equally, you don't allow other people to have expectations of you. And
that keeps you from trying to fulfill someone else's needs in that way, because you have to know who you are. And that's the thing. I know who I am. Like I know myself. That's why I'm not afraid to cry. And I don't care if people, I have no feeling of you're judging me because I'm crying. Yeah. So, okay. Well, you're judging me because I'm going to feel what I'm feeling. Like that's what keeps me as a grounded person, because I know, and to kind of bring it back to kind of like clients and stuff, that also keeps me from creating things I don't want to create. Because there's times clients will come out, oh, can you do this? And it's maybe something inappropriate or something that I don't feel comfortable creating, instead of, feeling obligated because either finances or don't want to hurt that person. If you know yourself, you know your worth, you know your value, you know your brand, then you're able to say, no, I can't do that. Or maybe I can do it this way, but I can't do it that way. And that keeps you from feeling trapped in your own abilities.
Know thyself. It's a very important wisdom.
Know thyself.
You sound about 20 years older than you are. You just learn all these lessons that have taken me a long time to get my head around.
It's funny because I've gotten that even when I was, because when I was really, really young, I really loved like 60s, 70s, 80s music.
Really?
Still to this day, I've even when I was very young, so people were so confused. Like, why is he listening to Luther Vandross and Tina Marie and Whitney Houston?
A little bit of Luther. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And because I've always been a little bit more, I don't want to say advanced, but just, I think when
older
you take in people,
older than your years.
Older for my age. Yeah,
that's what they say. Older
been.
Than your years.
Yeah, but I think that happens when you step outside of yourself and try to see others. If you can learn other people's mistakes, so you don't make them yourself. And like I said, going back to the women in the salon, hearing their problems and things like that. Because I probably shouldn't have been in the room, but there I was. But to hear those things every day and hear their plight allows me to say, okay, then I don't want to be the problem that they're having. I don't want to grow up and be a man like that, right? So then let me be this type of man. And having a good father in my life showed me what it means to be a man too. So just having those things allowed me to become what I am today.
Yeah. And now you've been able to take that experience and basically, create all these wonderful characters and create all this amazing work and work with all these incredible brands and musicians. You must pinch yourself.
Yeah, I try to not let go the feeling of like how blessed I am to be in the position I'm at, because not everyone gets to do what they love. Not everyone gets to do what they love and connect with these different people and things like that. So it's like, I really believe in stopping smelling the roses, right? Like, don't let the flowers go by. And I'm very much like that with everything. Like because I'm such a visual learning, I'm very observant. So it's like, I will, like, if I see literally flowers, I'm like, okay, wow, the fact that they're even here, the fact that they're right in front of me for me to smell, for me to be able to, it's a blessing. And instead of like letting life go by, you're kind of missing those moments. And there's so many of them everywhere. There's so many of them. I think that's what makes me like, a comical person too, because I love making people laugh. To me, is one of the like purest joys. I think laughter is, you can't get any higher. That's why it starts to hurt. You know, when you start laughing really hard, pain comes because you can't get any higher than that. And I just feel like seeing people smile and let go of whatever troubles they have.
Yeah.
For laughter, they exchange it. They're like, okay, instead of me being upset, I'm laughing, because you can't be upset and laugh at the same time, really. I mean, kind of, but you know, having that pure laughter be a part of your day. And I think I laugh every day. I think laughter is important.
Same.
And I think that's what keeps me happy.
It's
I'm
great.
always laughing at something.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because like a lot of people, you know, for whatever reason, as we were talking about before, depending on what they're going through, the world and life can be really hard. But if you can be the type of person that can see, you know, the lightness and try and avoid becoming too serious, and still have that kind of joy and that laughter that we you know, had when we were children growing up and probably took for granted. And that keeps you going. Laughter for me, I feel, is medicine.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Because to me, and that's the case. It's just like, and don't get me wrong, I'm human. So of course I have bad days and there's times I'm a little upset. But I just believe that, you know, don't hold grudges, don't hold on to it too long. And, you know, I don't want wrinkles, you know, I don't want those things. You know? So, I want to be happy. And I'll say 8 times out of 10, you choose to be happy. 8 times out of 10, right? Because there's depression and things like that as well. But,
yes,
you know, you can choose to be happy and you can choose to be upset at the world. And at the end of the day, the world can't control you. Only you can control you, and you can control your environment. So it's like, make yourself happy, you know, if nobody else is going to do it. And then, although there are people who will help do that for you, your friends and family, but at the end of the day, it's you who has to choose that. You have to choose happiness.
You do, just as you have to choose to push your business forward and your creativity. Yes. You know, if you're a happy person and you're in a good place, then magic things are going to happen elsewhere.
Very much.
Yeah.
And that keeps you from, because you get a lot of no's in every industry, but especially in the creative industry, or a lot of like rejection, or, you know, projects aren't coming through and things. So instead of like, why isn't this working? You know, why is it? Of course you feel that, but instead it's like, okay, keep pushing, because eventually, I mean, just the law of the land, you put out what you get back what you put out, right? The more you put out, it comes back, right? So keep creating, keep pushing, and eventually a little Jay and the Wonder Key will pop out of nowhere, you know, like these little things will start to come back around. And you'll see that, one, maybe you weren't even ready at the time you wanted it. The time you really wanted it, like, I need it now. Actually, the reason you didn't get it is probably because you wouldn't been able to take care of it, or maybe you weren't wise enough or strong enough, or maybe like you would bend too easily at that moment. So you need a little bit more strength so that when you're ready, you can actually take it on.
It's such wisdom, you know, it's so true. We're in control of our emotions and our reactions. And, you know, we can either say, this is terrible, I lost the job, or I screwed up, or you can sort of say, okay, roll your sleeves up. What lessons have I learned from this? How can I do it better next time? And those are the people like yourself who end up being a success, whatever success means, but you know what I mean? It's like, if you're willing to sort of just build that resilience and have that positive attitude, then it'll just take you places you just never thought possible.
You never knew you were going to be.
Exactly. Oh, well, listen, Sean, this has just been so magical. And I will tell our listeners now, if they really want to have a giggle and have a happy moment, to go to your J Cut Productions on YouTube and watch you watching movies for the first time, like Forrest Gump, which just had me in stitches. Honestly, I love your YouTube channel, and I just think Little J is going to be a massive thing, and I'm glad we got to chat with you before. We wouldn't have been able to get an interview with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and this was a pleasure. It
was such fun. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
If you'd like to find out more about today's episode, you can visit creativeboom.com/podcast and check out our show notes. And if you're enjoying the series so far, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave us a review. Thanks again to our sponsor, MPB, the largest global platform to buy, sell, and trade used photo and video kit. You can shop for all the used camera kit you need, sell your unwanted gear to MPB, and get an instant quote, free shipping, and fast payment. It really is the go-to place for everything you need. Go to mpb.com to discover more.